Right, so I seen someone ask on YouTube why people stopped watching WWE, and I thought it's clearly my place to talk, being someone who's never wrestled and basically has no real idea about how to do it properly. But let's do it, right? I've decided I'm on WWE 2K19 because it's the quickest and easiest way to group all of the wrestlers together. Sure, there'll be some that aren't on here because it's not the latest game, but if you're thinking I'm going to buy WWE 2K20, then you must be brain dead because that game is shite, right? Let's do this. Here we go. Oh, by the way, my reasoning for why people stop watching WWE is because they ruin all of their wrestlers, right? And I'm going to go through this roster of people here and tell you who they've ruined, and for some people I'll talk about it more, okay? Adam Cole, he's okay, he's got a bit of a weird storyline going on in NXT right now, sort of interesting, see where it goes. Aiden English, I'm pretty sure he's been released. If he hasn't been released, he's not been on TV for the past 2 years, he's done nothing except for that Rusev Day thing, which when I look back at it, was horrible, so no. AJ Styles, fair enough, they treated him quite well, but at this point, he should probably leave because he's done just about everything at WWE, and I think everyone in the world would prefer to see him basically anywhere else. Just go back to Japan, mate. Just do, like, please, for the love of God. Akam, who the fuck are you, mate? You're shit. Akira Tozawa, he's been on 205 Live basically his entire life. No one really cares about him. Aleister Black. Jesus Christ, I should have had a drink before this. Aleister Black, right? Better known as Tommy End, because the whole time he's been in NXT, he was good. He was good in NXT, and then, for some reason, they brought him up to the main roster. This is the first victim of the main roster. They brought him up to the main roster, put him in a dead-end tag team with fucking Ricochet. They then did nothing. Nothing happened. He then had 6 years of doing vignettes that led nowhere, and then he got injured, I think, and now his wife, Zelina Vega, has been released from the company. It looks like he might be following her. Thank God for that free Tommy End, because he's not going to get used, is he, realistically? Alexa Bliss, part of the incredibly overrated WWE Women's Division. Don't get me wrong, they've got quite a few good wrestlers. Alexa Bliss is one of them decent ones. However, there is a hell of a lot of absolutely terrible ones. And we will find them, right? Alexander Wolf, I'm pretty sure he's in Imperium now. He was in Sanity in this game. Sanity fell apart, though, because main roster, and they did nothing with them after they brought them up, despite the fact that they needed new tag teams on the main roster. But we move, right? I think he's doing okay in Imperium. I don't think any human being watches NXT UK, mainly because there's only, like, 4 good wrestlers on it. And Pete Dunne isn't even on NXT UK anymore. He's on normal NXT. So there's no point. Alicia Fox. Again, not entirely sure. She might not even be on the roster anymore. If she is still on the roster, she's terrible. Get her off the roster. She is awful. Alundra Blayze, she's on. Andrade Cien Almas, before he got randomly, he lost half of his name and he is now Andrade. They ruined him too. He put on a 5-star match in NXT with Johnny Gargano. 5 stars. This is the first 5-star match they had in like 15 years. And then up to the main roster, and they did nothing with him. They did nothing. They didn't do anything with him. And now he's injured, and now he might be leaving as well. I think he actually might have already been released. Thank God for that. Maybe he can actually go and wrestle somewhere. He's dead. Angelo Dawkins, he's alright. He's just chilling in NXT with Montez Ford, I think. I think they're called the Street Profits. Rip-off of Private Party, but we move. They're okay. Apollo Crews, I believe... Oh no, is that Shelton Benjamin? I don't know what Apollo Crews is doing, because he might be in the Hurt Business, but that also might be someone else who looks exactly like him. So, and that's not me being racist, they look the exact same, right? So, if he is in the Hurt Business, they've been ruined anyway. If he's not in the Hurt Business, where is he? I haven't seen him in years. I don't know. Ariya Daivari, the skinniest human being I've ever seen. I've got more muscle than my man over here. He's probably still on 205 Live, if that even exists anymore. I don't think anyone watches it. Who cares? Asuka. Again, finally, a woman. We're back at women. And she's okay. She's another one of the okay WWE women's wrestlers. She was much better in like Stardom and that when she could actually do what she wanted and didn't have to face Charlotte Flair 15 fucking times. But you know what? She's okay. Baron Corbin, he's not got that hair anymore. Now he's a bald bastard and he's shit. He does nothing. Apparently he's a very safe worker, so good for him. But also he's a very bleeding boring one. None of these are even on the roster. Bayley, here we go, the first terrible women's wrestler in my opinion. She botches all the time. She has no storyline. Like she was supposed to turn heel for so long, and then she turned heel, and it was terrible. She has an awful haircut. She's got no character. It was awful. It's awful, right? Terrible. Becky Lynch is an okay wrestler. She had a really good storyline until she didn't anymore. They sort of ran out of ideas what to do with it, so they just sort of kept doing the same thing over and over again, and people started to get bored of it, and now she's pregnant, so thank God for that. Maybe she'll come back with a different gimmick. Beth Phoenix, she did return, didn't she? She was okay when she returned, I think. I don't know though, because I think she only returned for one day. Bianca Belair, overrated. She does nothing. She's like a bit strong and has long hair. She hair whips people. I guess it's kind of a cool thing, but she also has no gimmick other than her hair. So terrible. Big E should have been world champion about 6 years ago at this point. Just give up on him. Just release him. Let him do whatever he wants, because the New Day have been dead since 2018. So oh well. Big Show, well, he's terrible. that was even worse than he is. Billie Kay, she's not very good either. She used to be in a tag team, did she not, with like Peyton Royce or some shit? I don't know. It wasn't a very good tag team. She's not a very good wrestler, and I'm pretty sure they split up now for no reason. Terrible. Bo Dallas, he's a pretty pants wrestler too, and they absolutely killed his character. He was a great heel in NXT in like 2015. Second he went up to the main roster, no one liked it, and they just gave up on it. Bobby Fish, part of Undisputed Era, with Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, which is the weird storyline I was talking about before. I don't really know what's going on, but he's a good wrestler. Bobby Lashley, how do you ruin Bobby Lashley? Did you not hear the response he got when he returned? The pop was fucking huge. And then they made him Nick Lana off of Rusev. A storyline which was one, terrible, and two, they'd already done with Dolph Ziggler like 4 years ago. And it didn't work then either. So why did you think it was going to work now? What are you doing? Bobby Roode, great in NXT, ruined him on the main roster. What a surprise. Is he still with the company? I don't know. He's probably in another dead-end tag team. He's been in about 6 of them if he is still in the company. Braun Strowman, he's bald now, and he's lost all of his anything he had is gone. It's gone. It's done. He's shit now. Like, his whole monster gimmick was dead in 2018 when they made him tag team with some, like, 9-year-old kid and beat the bar. What was that? Bray Wyatt doesn't exist anymore. He's now The Fiend, but The Fiend's pretty dead as well. They don't really have anywhere to go with it. And he had a horrendous red lighting for his first, like, 6 matches. He also had one of the worst match endings ever at Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins. When they called off a Hell in a Cell match, what the fuck is that, right? There's also his 2014 attire, which is the exact same. What's the point in that? Brie Bella. One of the Bellas returned a couple of years ago. She was terrible. She was more rusty than a bike chain. Terrible. Awful. Brock Lesnar never turns up anymore. Oh, that's not right. Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano's girlfriend / wife, I don't know. She's okay, I guess. Carmella, where the fuck have you been, Carmella? Are you still with the company? I don't know. Can you tell that I don't watch WWE very much anymore? Are you with the company? It doesn't matter, because you were terrible even when you were with the company. You had an awful gimmick. You worked with James Ellsworth. It was terrible. No. Cedric Alexander, I think he is definitely in the Hurt Business, but they've ruined the Hurt Business, so it doesn't matter. Cesaro, he should have been world champion about 10 years ago as well. What are you doing to the poor guy? You say he has no personality. He's got about 16 different nicknames. What do you mean, you idiots, man? And then he signed a new contract because he likes money. But, oh well, we move. Chad Gable, he was Shorty G for about 6 years too long. He was Shorty G for way too long. That name and gimmick was horrendous. It was awful. And Chad Gable's original gimmick wasn't that good either. He was only good in American Alpha with Jason Jordan until he broke his neck or whatever happened. Chad Gable's been dead for years. Charlotte Flair, she wins everything. And yes, I know she's a Flair, but does she have to win all the time? All the time. I've seen this woman wrestle more than I've breathed air. She wrestles everyone all the time, and it's the same matches over and over again. She's wrestled Asuka so fucking much. Go away, Charlotte, man. Get injured or something. Just fuck off for a bit. Chris Jericho's in AEW. He's kind of okay. Christian's in AEW as well. I forgot about that. Oh, he's not in the company anymore either. Curtis Axel, is he still in WWE? I don't know. He was shit if he was, and still is, so fuck it. Dakota Kai, terrible, can't wrestle. Dana Brooke, even worse than Dakota Kai is. Like, Dakota Kai at least could do some basic moves. She has a terrible gimmick, but Dana Brooke is just awful. She just flexes and then does nothing. She's terrible. Daniel Bryan, he's good, but he's sort of got no real direction anymore because there's no fans, so he can't really feed off the fans gimmick, which is sort of his whole thing. Dash Wilder, he left. Dean Ambrose, he left and became way better as Jon Moxley. Dolph Ziggler, I'm pretty sure he's probably still with the company. He hasn't been on TV for the past year or so. That's because he's terrible. He's good at selling, but nothing else, so yeah. Drew Gulak, pretty sure he's now in WWE NXT UK or some balls, despite clearly not being from the UK. He's sort of okay, I guess. Drew McIntyre won the world title a bit ago. I don't know if he's still got it, because there's been no interesting storylines, so who cares? EC3 said about 2 words, got cut off by Dean Ambrose, and then spent a year not being able to say anything on WWE TV. He's now back in Impact. Still not doing much, but at least he gets to say words on the show, eh? Edge, he came back, that was a lovely pop, and then they didn't really do much with him. They had him wrestle Randy Orton for some reason. Why are you having 2 old guys wrestle? You need someone who can keep up the pace of the match, surely. Look, anyway, right, let's carry on. Elias, I haven't seen him for what feels like 6 years, but that's all because his whole point was doing a concert to the fans, and there's not exactly many of them around anymore. Ember Moon, she was rubbish. I don't know why people rated her. She had that one good move, which was the finisher off the top rope. She did the stunner thing, that I can't remember the name of, but other than that, she was pretty boring and shit. Epico, awful. Eric Young, I love him, but he was awful in the WWE, and he's not doing a whole load back in Impact now either. Eric Rowan, who isn't Eric Rowan, he's actually Rowan, and he has been released, I'm pretty sure. He turned up on AEW in the Luke Hart, in the Brody Lee thing, but Fandango is still in a tag team with Tyler Breeze, and it's still just about as awful as it was 4 years ago. Finn Balor somehow managed to ruin his return to NXT. He's done nothing, really. He's not had that many interesting storylines that I'm seeing talked about. Just leave, man. Go back to Japan with AJ. Just please, for the love of God, and start painting your damn face again. That was so cool. Why do you never do it anymore? For fuck's sake. Jack Gallagher, he was a rapist. I think that's why they released him. That's a bit awkward, isn't it? Goldusty's way better in AEW now. Grand Metalik is just generic luchador. He's not that impressive, really. Hanson, why did they change this guy's name? Hanson and Rowe were War Machine / War Raiders, not the Viking Raiders, because that is the worst name in history of anything. And also, they changed them from Hanson and Rowe to 2 names that I can't even bloody remember anymore, because they were stupid. Why change their names from what they were in NXT when they got to the main roster? That's stupid. No one's going to know who they are anymore. It's Brody Lee. He died. That's a shame. He was never really used how he should have been. He was way better than getting put in endless tag teams with Eric fucking Rowan. Heath Slater, he can't even get a job at Impact, so he's terrible. Hideo Itami is now Kenta in NJPW and is doing okay. He's the leader of the Bullet Club, I believe, so, you know, he's got that. Jason Jordan, he broke his neck. Jeff Hardy is criminally underused. Jeff Hardy is my favourite wrestler, right? And he's in awful storylines. He had to piss in a cup in front of Sheamus for a storyline because Sheamus wanted to check if he was on drugs. What the fuck is that storyline? That's terrible. What are you doing, man? He just let him lob himself off of a ladder. That's what he does. he needs to leave as well. Go to AEW with fucking Matt and do anything other than what you're doing. The Usos, they're okay. They're okay. Jinder Mahal, I'm pretty sure he is still with the company, but that's just so he can get flattened every once in a while. And if he's not still with the company, then it's because he's shit, realistically, isn't it? John Cena will turn up every once in a while, he does whatever he wants. Johnny Gargano is incredibly tanned and incredibly underused. Why? And that's probably wrong, because he's probably on the show all the time, but he never has very good matches anymore, is what I mean. He put on that 5-star one a couple of years ago, and then I don't think he's been talked about since, or if he has, I haven't seen it. Kairi Sane, she was the second best women's wrestler that they had until she left, because Nia Jax absolutely killed her. Nia Jax cannot wrestle for anything, she's so bad. Kairi Sane had a string of concussions, nearly dying, and then went, fuck this noise, I'm going back to Japan, and she did that. Kalisto, a bit like Grand Metalik, he's just sort of a luchador who's never really used anymore. He left and is maybe back to being Chris Hero, but also I don't think he's wrestled since he left WWE, so maybe he's not Chris Hero again, I don't know. Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen is and will always be better than Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens is terrible. Like, he's PG, you can't do half of the shit that Kevin Steen could do. Killian Dane, I think he's still with the company. I think he's in NXT UK now. Not really doing much, as far as I know. He's not that great. Kofi Kingston, still part of the New Day. Of course, he won the WWE belt a couple of years ago. Nice feel-good moment, and then Brock Lesnar absolutely ate him alive. And that was that, dead, and he's done nothing since. That's the Ascension. Awful, terrible, terrible. Kyle O'Reilly, part of the Undisputed Era, he's a good technical wrestler. Lacey Evans, she's terrible. She has nothing. She's shit. She's awful. Lana, she's even worse. She can't even fucking speak properly, let alone wrestle. Lars Sullivan, he was a bit of a possibly racist, possibly rapist, but maybe, question mark. His beard makes him look a bit rapey, to be fair. He was also a bit shit anyway, so I don't really mind that he left. Let's say Dorado, luchador. Leo Russ, terrible. Liv Morgan, awful. And she got given a pretty, like, intriguing gimmick, and then fucking shitty Ruby Riott came back, and they just randomly were a tag team again, for no reason. They used to be a tag team, then they broke up, and then they were a tag team again, for why? Let's look Harper again. Mandy Rose, she's only in the company because she's pretty. She can't wrestle. Maurice, she can't wrestle either, but she's the Miz's girlfriend, and the Miz is apparently quite liked. Matt Hardy, you take Jeff, please. Mickie James, she's too old to do anything, really. The Miz never rated him, but he's okay, I guess. Mojo Rawley had that really weird gimmick where he put blue face paint on his face for ages and talked into a mirror. And then had, like, 2 matches. Oh, my battery's going to die. And then I had, like, 2 matches. And then didn't do any, and then just disappeared. So that was good. Street Profits with whatever his name is. Mustafa Ali was the leader of Retribution. They ruined them too. It was awful. Why was Mustafa Ali their leader? He was not the right guy for that. They also changed Dominik Dijakovic, who is a pretty cool guy in NXT, to fucking T-Bar. The worst name since fucking Viking Raiders. He was called T-Bar. What is that? Naomi, overrated. She's not very good. Natalia, boring. Nia Jax, she's been a wrestler for so long, and she's still so bad. Like, she literally injures people once every week. I swear to God. You could make a full list of people she's injured, and it would take over 4 A3 pages. I swear. Nick Miller, don't know who he is. I've literally never heard of him. Nikki Bella, if she's the Bella that came back, she's terrible. I don't know if it was her or Brie. They're both awful. No Way Jose got released, mainly because his gimmick was a conga line, and that was literally it. Noam Dar, NXT UK, never seen any of him. Only Lorcan, no idea who that is. Otis Dozovic, who is now just called Otis and is also terrible now. They split him up from his tag team for no reason, and he lost to The Miz, and it's awful. Pete Dunne, I love Pete Dunne, but he's not really got much going on. I think he's challenging for the NXT title somewhere, but just nothing's going on, is it really, Pete? Just cut your losses, lad. Peyton Royce, she can't wrestle either, neither can Primo. Truth, he's so old, holy shit is he old. Randy Orton, that hair is horrendous, he's okay I guess, RKO and all that. Rey Mysterio, he's done all he needs to do at WWE, he's a Grand Slam champion, get out of there for one more run in like Mexico or something. Razor, by the clothing, is Akam's teammate, maybe? He's probably pretty shit too. Rhino isn't with the company anymore, and he also can't decide whether he wants to spell it with a Y or an I. I've seen it 6 different ways in the last couple of days. Ricochet? How do you ruin Ricochet? How? Go and watch any Ricochet match from before he was in WWE, and even some of his first ones in NXT, right? Look at how fucking good they are. And then he goes up to the main roster, terrible tag team with Tommy End, and it was rubbish. And then he got fed to Brock Lesnar so that he could snap him in half in like fucking Saudi Arabia for no reason. There was like 600 people there. No one cares about Arabia. WWE, stop being dickheads. All of these don't wrestle anymore. Roderick Strong, that weird thing that he's got going on. Roman Reigns had finally got his heel turn, and it's okay, I guess. Ronda Rousey, for having 1 year in the wrestling business, she was okay. Rowan, terrible. Ro was with Handsome, don't know why they changed his name. Ruby Riott, awful. She's just bad at wrestling. Her look's unique, I guess, but that's all she's got because she's shit. Rusev, they completely wasted him, but looks like AEW are doing the same thing, so I can't really talk. Sami Zayn, he also is rumoured to possibly be leaving WWE. For the love of God, do it, Sami. You're never going to get any higher than the Intercontinental Championship, as has been proved by when you had a really good run with it, and then lost it, and then didn't do anything after that. Leave the company, go back to being El Generico, because that character was brilliant, and do anything anywhere else, please. Samoa Joe, can you stop commentating and be a wrestler again? For the love of God, you're a good wrestler. But also, maybe not in WWE, because they'll probably ruin you, like TNA did for about 6 years. Sarah Logan got released. That's a good thing, because she's shit. Sasha Banks, I don't think I've seen her wrestle in about 4 years. Is she with the company still? Probably. She's not gone anywhere else, so she's got to be, right? She's okay-ish. She had one good match with Bayley, and now everyone sucks her off for it, but I don't remember her doing anything else. Seth Rollins, Monday Night Messiah gimmick was a bit naff, wasn't it, with Buddy Murphy? Shane Ford, who the fuck is that? Let's just carry on. Shayna Baszler, she is a shit Ronda Rousey. Sheamus doesn't have that hair anymore and isn't very good anymore either. Like, his gimmick is so old. Shelton Benjamin is the one that I can't tell whether he's in the Hurt Business or if it's Apollo Crews. It doesn't really matter though, because again, the Hurt Business is ruined. They fucked it. Shinsuke Nakamura, he should go back to Japan because he'd have some cool matches with the people in NJPW, but also money, so he's probably gonna stay at WWE and do nothing for the rest of his career. Sin Cara, botch machine. Sonya Deville, can't wrestle. No, he said Steve Austin there, he doesn't wrestle anymore. Tamina! This is why, see, the women's division is so bad, it has fucking Tamina! Tamina is shit! She's so bad! Fucking hell, man. Titus O'Neil is still about. TJP doesn't even wrestle for them anymore. Does Tony Nese wrestle for WWE anymore? I don't know. I haven't seen him if he does, because he's terrible. There's Tucker Knight, the guy that Otis used to be partnered with. He split up with Otis and then just disappeared off the face of the earth, apparently, because he's done fuck all since. Tyler Bate, this is one of the other good NXT UK wrestlers. He's doing nothing there, though. He just lost to someone I've never heard of. He needs to go somewhere else, like anywhere else, please. You're like, Tyler Bate in Japan would be so good. Tyler Breeze with Fandango, terrible and boring. Undertaker finally retired. Velveteen Dream, I don't really know what happened to him. He had a really cool character, loads of people liked him, and then he got injured, maybe, and has he been back since? I don't know. Not very good. Xavier Woods, he's part of the New Day and they're dead. And that's the end, because it's Zack Ryder, who's now Matt Cardona. This is why They are all fucking terrible. There's so many either terrible wrestlers in there or wrestlers that they ruined. I've been doing this like 20 minutes and I want to stop because I want to kill myself thinking about how bad all of the wrestlers, like how badly they've been treated. So goodbye. Hello, can I leave? This is not